Hello, world. My name is Na Ashoko, serving you strong and sassiness on your Wednesday night. You're welcome to Strong and Sassy, your number one girl talk show on radio, live on your number one station, Joy 99.7 FM, online, well, myjoyonline.com. And if for some reason you aren't listening or can't listen throughout the show, be sure that we're going to be tweeting everything that will be said. So with the hashtag Strong and Sassy, you can connect with us online on Twitter. Yep. Or just at Joy FM. You see all of our tweets. So if you're tuning in for the very first time, I wonder where you have been. This show is all about us girls. The things we like, the things we don't like, the things we talk about, you know, when it's just us. The things we don't even tell the men. That's what we talk about on the show. And I'm your host with the most. My name is Na Ashoko. You're welcome. If you want to connect with us on the show via WhatsApp, the number is 0244340437. I'll be reading your messages as we go. And we're on for 1 hour straight. My girls are here, looking sweet and sassy and Charlie. Hey. Charlie, some people I haven't seen all year. Oh, for you, what part of you?
Yes, darling.
Hey, it be so your live day.
Don't worry. Welcome back, though.
Charlie, you look good. Charlie, I can't.
You're my inspiration.
Is that right? You look fabulous.
Thank you.
And it's great to have you back on the show. This will be day 2 for you.
Yeah.
On the show. Yeah. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Also on the show, I recently turned size 6 chick.
Whoa.
Charlie, Marian Uzu. How are you?
Nyamiado.
Charlie, Marian, the last time I saw you were size 16 or something like
18.
that. 18?
Yeah.
And now you're size 6?
18 wearing 20 jeans.
Jeez.
Yeah.
No kidding. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Secondly, how did you do it? Charlie.
No, seriously. I started out with you.
You tied up with me?
Yeah, with you.
Well, as you can see, I'm still very large and in charge.
Yeah. I started out with you. I don't know if you remember, there was this weight thing that you started.
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
Yes. I started out with that way. Then by the time I was done, I think I weighed 138 when we started.
Ooh.
And then when I finished, I did.
Wait, what do you weigh now?
I weigh 75.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey.
75.
Charlie, June 2. June 4. June 6. In fact, June 99.7. Wow. Congratulations. I'm so inspired to join Mama V's 30-day challenge and be like you. You look awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And number 3. Felicity Nelson.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
We missed you from last week. You were here last week, yeah.
Yeah.
But you look really different today.
Yeah.
I never knew you had a fro.
Yeah, I'm a natural gal.
It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Great to have you all, ladies. Now, tonight on the show, we're going to be talking about something really important. And I always feel like we don't talk about these things enough. I thought I knew things. I thought I knew stuff. But after I had my 2 children, I realized I didn't know anything, nothing. And so, from my experiences, I felt that it's important to use a platform like this to talk about the things that we don't talk about enough. You know, we don't all have to experience things to know them. Those who have gone ahead of us can let us know what it is like so that we can make choices that will make it a little less harder for us when we get there. What am I talking about? Let me tell you. So, you know, to have a baby, babies come into this world by one of 2 ways. Either vaginal delivery or cesarean section. Until recently, we all knew and believed that cesarean sections were only done in emergency cases or if it was medically necessary for you to have a cesarean section to deliver your baby. Until then, we all knew that the way to go was to have a spontaneous vaginal delivery. But now times have changed and things have changed. More women are having their children late, after 25, into their 30s. More women are deciding to choose whether to have a vaginal delivery or to have a C-section. We have heard many stories and many myths about C-sections and about vaginal deliveries. We've heard some very heart-wrenching tales about what our sisters and girlfriends and wives and mothers go through in the labor ward. We've heard so many stories about how people want to have a vaginal delivery and they go through labor for 24 hours, and after all the pain and suffering and pain and crying and regrets even, they end up having cesarean section. We've heard about women who refuse. They don't want it. They don't want to have a cesarean section for any reason. In fact, I've heard people say that if you don't have your baby per vagina, then you haven't really given birth, or something weird like that. I don't really know what they say, but they say something like that. Today on the show, or what has necessitated this conversation actually, was a news article that we chanced upon last week, and I thought it was very interesting. The caption was, and I'm paraphrasing, that more and more women are opting to have cesarean section deliveries to preserve their genitals. So I put this up on social media and I asked women who followed me this question. I got a lot of people saying that they would do so because vaginal delivery causes your vagina to just expand beyond its limits, and it causes a lot of problems post-delivery. People have told me that they pee every time they sneeze. Like every time they sneeze, they urinate a little bit. Like they can't, the urine just will come out. People have said that it's affected, their sex life and other things. So today on the show, I want to know from you. I've got 4 wonderful ladies here. Mabna just joined us. Fitvolution by Mabna is here with us. Mabna, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm excited you're here because I know as part of the boot camp you do for women,
right,
you do postpartum recovery exercises and things you can do to fix stuff.
Yes.
If stuff happen.
Yes.
Right? Awesome. So I'm happy to have you. So we have Felicity, Nyakwa, Oforiwa, and Mabna, and we are going to talk. And I want you to also talk. Let's talk about this. WhatsApp me on 0244340437, and as we go, I'll activate the phone lines and let you know how you can contribute. So let's go straight to the points. No beating about the bush. I start with you. See, everybody wants to start. I start with you, Felicity. Felicity, you have one baby.
Yes.
You. How old were you when you had your baby?
I was 19.
You were 19.
Yeah.
That's really young.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience and finish your submission with, if you were to have him now, you're 29 now, would you have done anything different?
Well, okay, so I had him young, so I had a really easy pregnancy. Actually, labor for me was not that long. Of course, the contractions were painful, but it was really easy. You watch the movies and they spend like hours pushing. So I was expecting to experience the same thing. And the pushing for me was, I don't know, like it felt like 10 minutes. I can't really remember. But it was really easy for me. So that's my personal experience of labor. The thing is, after I had him, I did feel uncomfortable. It did affect my sex life for a while, where I felt like maybe my vagina wasn't as, it didn't have the same elasticity as it did prior to me giving birth. So it was something that I had an issue. I never really actually had a conversation. This is probably the first time I'm actually talking about it. But I'm talking about it because there's other people who might be going through the same thing. I was so self-conscious. I didn't want to have sex for a while because I just felt like it just wasn't the same anymore. And it's because, nobody ever had any conversations with me and tells me what happens down there. I didn't have any tears or anything. But I still just felt really uncomfortable. And I thought, well, now that a baby's head has come out of that area, then I don't really think that it's going to feel the same anymore. Does it feel the same now? Well, I suppose it does. I haven't had any complaints, but haven't had any complaints. So I think that everything's fine. Now, I wouldn't opt for a cesarean. I don't know. I wouldn't opt for it, but then I don't have an issue with anybody who does. I feel like your body, your choice. Do what works for you.
Your body, your choice. Your body, your choice. Do what works for you. Okay, Marian. Marian is AKA Nyankwan. So you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
You have 2 babies.
Yes.
How did you have your babies?
I had them all vaginal.
Okay, tell us about your experience and yeah, and the aftermath.
Oh, I mean, I wish I had opted. I mean, it's, if I'm to have another child, I would opt for cesarean.
Why?
I had tears down there because they I don't know whether they weren't even big. Their heads weren't even big, but then like they tore me. So the stitches were like I had the first one I had stitches. I had one on the side, like 2 on both sides. The second one I had a lot of stitches, and then after about 3 weeks it tore again.
What?
Yes,
That's one.
it tore again, and it
I'm
was-
sorry, you're saying that you had tears
I had tears.
and they were stitched in the hospital
They were stitched in the hospital.
and you went home
I went home.
and then what?
It got torn again.
Does that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, for you're a nurse.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah.
After they stitch you up, you can go home and it will tear.
Yeah.
And that was after I think getting to the 4 weeks, and it was the most painful thing I have ever experienced, because it tore from up to down.
Ouch.
And I still have issues now. I mean, when I pee is like when I'm going to a meeting, or when I'm going to a place where I'm not very familiar with, I won't drink water because I can't. The pee control is
Limited.
yes, it is. So, I mean, I love my babies to death. I'll do anything for them, but I will not. I mean, if I had my own chance, I will not opt for vaginal, because my first son, my first son, when he came, it was about 18 months labor, 18 hours labor,
Wow.
and I had to be induced because the contraction started on Monday, and then he came on Wednesday.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
That's
they had
like
to,
two days?
yeah. So from that when they injected the tablets,
Ooh.
from that time till I was like, oh, I was finding it easier. So is that how this whole thing is?
Induction
Hey,
is
that's not bad though. I can handle it. And then when it started, that was like from morning 9 a.m. Oh, when it started around 2 p.m., come and see me. Hey. And then it was like that till 11 p.m. So my husband almost ran up to go like, listen, let's do the cesarean. She's suffering. She's going through too much. Because I started puking yellowish. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And you know, I hear women insult their husband. But me, I said, oh no, I'll compose myself. I wish I did.
Charlie.
Oh, I wish I did.
So if you could do it again, you would not. You would have a cesarean
I'll have
section.
a cesarean. No, I'll have a cesarean. No doubt.
No doubt about
No
it.
doubt about that.
Ofoyoa,
Yes.
what about you?
Okay. So after 28 hours of labor, I had to go in for a CS.
You hadn't planned on having a C-section earlier.
No. In fact, the doctors, the nurses, the anesthetists were around me like, please, let's do this for you. I'm like, no, I want to be a woman. So I'm going to have a vaginal. My husband was just standing there looking at me like, seriously. Then eventually, I'm like, okay. But the baby is fine, right? I can still go. And I'm not talking about I'm sitting down talking. No. I'm on the floor, rolling, like I'm in pain.
Wow.
I've been up and down the stairs all night, all through the 28 hours, and I was still not dilating. So I still had to, I want to have a vaginal delivery.
Why? Why did you want it so bad?
It's just the social misconception of you not being woman enough because you didn't go through labor. And you know how our parents are like, I carried you for 9 months and I pushed you out. And so you have to listen to me. You know, that kind of misconception.
You want to be able to say that to your child one day.
Maybe.
Oh my.
Yeah, as educated as I am.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I
and
can
you are a
imagine
medical
what-
professional.
Thank you. But at that point, all I wanted to do was to go natural. Then eventually I'm like, I need to think about the baby. So let's do this. And when we did, the baby was green all over. And doctor was like, you took the decision just in time. And the whole time I was agreeing to going for it, I just kept saying, am I a bad mother for wanting to do a CS? Like, am I a bad? That's all I kept telling everybody. Nurse, am I such a terrible person? You know how people, like I say, people scream at their husbands. That's what I was doing. Am I a terrible mom for wanting to do a CS? And then I was so glad I did it. Now, today, if I have to go to have another baby, nobody has to tell me. I came out and I'm wondering, why was I so bent on having a vaginal delivery? Really? Because luckily for me, I had awesome great pain management in my hospital. I had very short scar, very small scar that you don't even see anymore. I had great care. So within 3 days, I was up and I was all over the place, like nothing had happened. So I'm like, so why was I so... I didn't get it. And I'm this educated, so
Yeah.
I'm wondering...
I mean, for those of you who don't know Forewa, I'll tell you about him. I mean, Forewa is one of my poshest friends. And so yeah, so it begs the question. I mean, why would you? I mean, at your level, Forewa, I would think that and you're a medical practitioner. You advise people. You counsel people.
That's how deep
Yeah.
social issues can get into our minds. That's how deep it can go. Seriously. So honestly, I wouldn't go for a spontaneous vaginal
For
delivery
any reason.
at all.
All right, Mabna. Let's hear from you. You have two strong boys.
Yes,
See, I've been following Mabna. If Mabna says go, we go. Right? If Mabna says number 4, number 5, I'll be right behind her. So Mabna,
Yes, nah.
what's your experience?
Well, yes, I've had 2 boys. I've had both of them vaginal. My first baby, I was induced. My midwife, I'm so grateful to her that she did that. At the time, I was very upset with her. First time mom, feeling all educated, thinking that I have my rights. Why did you not tell me before doing the epice? Why did you not tell me? I was very mad. I was very upset. I was like, why do you take a decision like this for me? But she was a very experienced midwife. She did the epice for me. The epice is, the consented tear. So they will give you a small cut so that it opens up your vagina for the baby's head to come out easily, so you don't tear uncontrollably. So she did it for me. Baby came out, and then the sewing was fantastic. I mean, when I went home, it was everything she told me to do. I did it exactly. Unfortunately, I had all through my pregnancy. I think I watched YouTube every day about delivery, about labor, about babies, about pregnancy. Like, I watched it, I read, I was very equipped, so I thought. And then after delivery, I came home, and then I was supposed to take care of, she schooled me what to do, what to put on it, what not to put on it. So for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I was taking care of the wrong place. And my
wound wasn't healing, I reported to her, and she was very surprised because she said that if I had followed whatever she said I should do,
You should
I
be healing.
feeling a little comfortable. But after 2 weeks, I was in so much discomfort and pain. So I said, okay, let me just go back to my precious Google and YouTube. Go and take a look at, a pictorial look and see where they do this epice and see if I am doing the right thing. I went to check, and now I was nursing some corner. So the epice was there, uncared for, and I was...
Oh my God.
So I said, well, at least I've educated myself again. So then I took care of it. It took me almost 8 weeks to heal, something that should have taken me maximum 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My second child, I had vaginal again, and this time, I don't know for what reason, but the midwife decided not to give me an epice. I consented to it. I don't know why. And I tore in different directions.
Oh my God.
Yes. Luckily, it didn't go all the way down to the other side. So I think she did a good job at the sewing. But when I came home, a few days later, I felt like the stitches were coming out, or they were loose. So I went back, and my gynae told me that it was loose, but it was okay. I could handle it. Because I had prepped myself in my head that I was going to get it redone. I know the redoing is out of this world pain. Like it's out of this world pain. It's not a joke. It is not a joke. You know, the euphoria when you have just had a baby and they are sewing, it's easier because you are still in that pain environment, so you can still handle it. But when you have to go home and come back and get it re-sewn, it's not. They
don't give you numbing injections or anything.
Whether there's numbing or there's no, the numbing effect will go, and you will still have. It's like when you have had a cut and you go and fall down and you get a cut in that same place. It's not an easy thing. But I realized that there are pain aids that we can use. There's this spray called sorry, I forgot the name. It's a pain relief, so you can actually spray it on the pain area or the suture, and it will give you it's like an ice cool. It gives you that icy feeling for a period of 3 to 4 hours, so you can actually sit without putting a pillow or whatever it is you use to support. You can actually sit for 3 to 4 hours.
Okay, let me ask. So you are saying that if you're given that epice, you cannot sit down?
No. I had to sit on pillows for 8 weeks. My baby's nursing pillow that I had bought to put his head in to put to my breast, I was using the pillow. I was sitting on the pillow. The pillow had a different purpose.
I see.
So every time I had to go for weighing at the hospital, or I had to go quickly to buy something, or I was sitting. I had to carry I will never forget my pillow in the house, because otherwise, how do I sit in the car? I have to put the pillow there because it has a V in the middle. So when I sit, the V sort of it holds me. So wherever I go, as soon as I get out of the car, my pillow is with me. Wherever I go, I will use my pillow. Wow. But if I should go for it again, I will still go for vaginal, because there are ways that you can, if it is to tighten the place again, there are ways. There are always ways. It's just that we are not aware of these ways. If it is urine incontinence, you can work on it. If it is the fear of having sex again, you can talk to other women who have been through this, and they can comfort you and take that fear off you. So I feel that there are ways that we can go through this and actually come out with a different perspective. So if you should ask me if I should go again, it would definitely be vaginal. Definitely.
Okay, Felicity.
I actually wanted to touch on, because I just remembered it was actually my mother-in-law who said to me, if I don't sit on hot water, your vagina is going to become like a dog's. Those exact words were in Tree, so you can imagine what it sounds like. And that statement was like so traumatic for me. So that was all part of the, why I was so scared to like start having sex again, because I was just so thinking, because I didn't believe in that whole practice of sitting on the hot water. So I didn't do it. And I was just so scared that, I didn't do it. I don't want to do it because, I don't see why.
What's the purpose of the hot water, by the way?
Well, it's supposed to aid with healing. Supposed to aid with pain management as well.
But
so after you have a vaginal delivery, if you don't have tears, etc., do you still experience pain? I mean, without tears and all of that, is that still supposed to be pain?
Yes, not pain but discomfort. It's not. Some women are very fortunate that especially when you're younger.
Yeah.
Especially when you're younger, from 18, 15, up to about 25, you can have a very easy birth. So then like there's a higher percentage of not having any tears at that age group. Yeah, but you will still have the discomfort because there has been bruising, there has been inflammation, like the place will swell and all that because it has to open for this rough head thing to come out. There's pulling. Help. Sometimes the midwife has to virtually help the area, the place to open up. So she would have to use her hands to help it to open. So there will definitely be bruising, there will be inflammation. So there's trauma to the place. So definitely there will be a little bit of discomfort, but you will heal faster than for someone who had
a tear.
But it doesn't mean that you will be rid of all the difficulties, because you can still have piles because you pushed, and the pushing alone can.
Yeah.
Coco.
Yeah, Coco.
Wow. I can't believe it's already 32 minutes past. We have 28 minutes to go. Now, since I shared this on social media, I can't tell you how much, like the conversations that have been had and how people have gone on and on about it. Really, ladies, in this 21st century, and with how advanced we are and all of that, with all the painful stories that you ladies have narrated, I think you've all narrated painful stories of, how did you say it? Vaginal,
yes.
Right? All the painful stories of vaginal delivery. Would you say that having a cesarean is an easy way out? And if it is, why not?
Now,
For you had a CS.
yes. Now, any surgery, and cesarean is a major abdominal surgery.
Yep.
Surgeries come with complications. So none of it is easy. The anesthesia, pre-op care,
Spinal.
post-op care.
Epidural.
Because if you are given a spinal anesthesia like I was given, you cannot lift your head for a number of hours. Because if you do, you are going to have a perpetual headache, like lifetime headache you are going to have to deal with. So I couldn't carry my baby. I have to lie down straight and just view my baby from the corner of my eye throughout the night till the next day when the doctor gave me the go ahead that now you can move. It is not an easy process. And I have a lot of friends who have gone to get CS and they get, like she had tears through the same scar. And
You
so
go back to restitch.
they go back to restitch. And that is also another process. You can be there 6 months down the line and still feel pain, still feel movement. None of it is easy. Whether a cesarean section or vaginal delivery, none of it is easy. Scientifically, it takes 2 years for a woman's body to recuperate from the process of delivery. So most women get consistent tears, especially when they don't wait that 2-year period, because then your body hasn't fully recovered. And then you go back in to have another child. And so then you get bigger tears, more complications. Or even if it's cesarean, you get more complications, and it comes with bleeding, which could lead to loss of life.
Yep.
So none of it is easy.
No.
They are both life-threatening, and any woman who goes through delivery and comes out alive with a child alive must always be grateful.
Marian, you want to say something?
When I had Ryan, because it wasn't really planned, I mean, it was just a normal antenatal checkup, and then the doctor was like, you can't go home. Yeah. So the Monday, he said, put her and then that was it. When I had him, the reason why when I was pregnant with the girl, she was breached till like about 6 months, and she turned. I was saying in my head, God Almighty, please let her turn, because I don't want a cesarean. The reason why I wasn't saying, because the lady I was sharing my room with, she had a cesarean. And when I remember the pain she was going through, and she kept on calling for painkillers. And she was calling out my name. I was up, like, after Ryan, like, that the night, the morning, in fact, the dawn. The doctors, the midwife had him. I walked to the midwife and said, so I got him around dawn. And then here she was. She went there in the afternoon. And here she was lying down. She couldn't do anything. And she was screaming. So that was actually the reason why I said I would not opt for cesarean. I'll do the vagina. But here, sex life, everything has completely changed after it.
Yep.
Because it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. I mean, after the tears and everything, it was not the same. I think it took a longer time for me to recuperate that. I wouldn't say most women, because I don't know most women, because there are times I still twitch.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done the checkups, and when you go, they give you the painkillers, and they tell you that it's okay. And in fact, I think I've actually accepted that this is it. Fine, it will go. This is it. So I'm just finding ways and means to handle myself. If I take the reason I actually stopped gymming and I started doing the walking was because I went to the gym one time, and I was doing this there was this exercise like a weight. I just felt
What?
I felt like and I said, oh my God. And then oh my God, it was so bad. And I didn't feel like pain. I did not feel like pain. There was nothing, but all of a sudden it just came. And then I was so embarrassed because it was on the seat. So I had to call the receptionist, and I told her that this is it. And when I got home, I cried the whole day. And, unfortunately, probably, people don't understand that what you're going through. So they think, oh, it's all good. And then my weight escalated. So, I want to have 5 children.
Ooh.
Yes. So I'm still doing yes, I want to have 5.
Oh, may the Lord be with you. Amen. Wow. I mean, thank you, ladies, so much for sharing. You have opened my eyes to all sorts of things that, honestly, you think you know, but you don't know. Yeah. You think you know until you hear real stories from real women. So thank you all so much for not holding back and for sharing. And I'm sure that you have educated so many women and men listening to us right now. There's a Twitter poll that I'd like you to participate in or take part in. Just go on Twitter. There's a poll, okay, for cesarean versus vaginal delivery. So I'd like you to take part in that. Let me read some of your messages coming in on 0244340437 on WhatsApp. Nashoko, just say natural delivery repeatedly. Oh, right. Okay, I got you. I don't know. Is cesarean unnatural?
No.
Yeah, so that's my challenge.
Yeah.
It's natural.
That's one of the misconceptions.
Yeah.
that, when you have it
Cesarean is
through the
It's not
vagina,
unnatural.
it's natural, and if you have a
baby.
cesarean, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
And we're drawing those lines. Every birth is a natural birth.
Yeah.
Because he's asking me to say natural delivery
No.
instead of vaginal delivery.
No.
Because it doesn't sound
delivery.
nice.
No,
Right.
They are
Okay.
both
Their hand
natural.
into your belly to pull your
Yeah,
belly
it's
out,
both
so
natural.
they are both natural.
Okay, but thank you for your message. Thanks for the educative panel as always. I wanted to have kids. I never wanted to have kids because I'm afraid of people paying. Both options are tough. Now, I've had three vaginal deliveries. I had tears, but the place is still very tight. I sometimes use lubes. Even though my husband doesn't want to. Okay, that's on my course. Hello, now for personal reasons, I had 2 children via C-section because the act of preserving is very essential to me. And that is from a man, Emmanuel Siame of Akosombo. And I would like us to talk about that. Because one of a few messages I got suggested that more and more women are choosing cesarean, not because they want to, but because men give them pressure to do so. So we'll talk about that. I had 3 C-sections for all of my children. I considered the pain that I went through for my first child before the section was performed. And that's from Gloria, texting us from Toronto, Canada. Now, I am Lynn from Tema. I have 2 kids, and I was in labor for 3 days for each of them. But I had to be stitched. And the pain when you are being stitched. Hey, God. Now, Shako, I experienced the same thing. The lady said 18 hours of labor, and I was there on every session to see what's going on. And then they had to induce my woman, and she chose the C-section. That's from Richard from London. Thank you, Richard. I applaud you, ladies. I'm so proud of you, great moms. And that's from Cosby Anthony. Now, what about water births? Are they less painful and are they available in Ghana? And that's Stephen asking from Adenta. Yeah, what about water births? I don't really hear about water births in Ghana. You see them online and they're all white people and always outside Ghana. Are they available in Ghana, Oforewa?
Well, not that I know of. We don't have trained personnel for it in Ghana yet. But I see it coming. I see it coming soon.
Actually, no, but I think it's in Spring.
Is it less painful?
Spintex.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a dweller.
Well, if the person is well trained, they say it's less painful
Okay.
and it's better for the baby because the baby is coming from water,
Water
into
water.
water. And so there's less shock associated with the baby moving from one environment into the other and stuff like that. But if complications come in, then you have to start rushing to get to a hospital. And you know the kind of health system we have here. We
And
are
the
not
potholes.
very-
And the ambulance.
So I don't think it will be encouraged for now. For now, it might not be encouraged, but I see it coming.
Okay. I'll read some messages on Facebook now. Wecha. Hi, Wecha. Wecha is listening to us and she says, wow, with a big shock emoji. Selina Aganiba Yelsuba says, Felicity. I think she shouted it. Felicity. All right. Shady says, women are truly made in the image and the love of God, the very last of his creation. Thank you all. Justice says, oh, nah, God bless you for this program. Very educative. Thank you. Lionel says, cesarean section is when the condition becomes critical, in the sense that mother and baby are in critical condition. It is performed in order to save both the mother and the child. And I think this used to be the case.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case
No.
now. Now you can have an elective
Yes.
C-section.
Yes.
All right. Pescoba says, please ask your guests, that is those who have gone through CS, the response of society when they told them about the procedure. Oforewa.
Well, today is the first time I'm actually sharing with everybody because my mom says, this is not something you share with anybody. This is not something you talk about.
Wow.
But when I was coming here, I reflected on it and I said, no, people are going through it. You need to talk about it so people know that they are not alone. They can take informed decisions. It's your body. You are the one who is going to go through the test. You are the one who is going to go through the pain. So
you need to decide what works best for you so you can live with your decision. Please don't make anybody take that decision for you. I'm sorry, not even your husband.
Yes.
It's your body.
You know, my mom, bless her, she had four of us, and all of us were C-section back then. I mean, I'm 30 plus. My mom had CS for all 4 of her children. So she didn't experience vaginal birth. So when she came to take care of me, I mean, it was as new to her as it was new to me, you know. But my sister, the one directly after me, has had 2 babies, all 2 CS. Her first one was emergency. The second one was selective, elective. So we've not come from an environment where C-section is
A taboo.
Or shamed. You know, my mom actually she prepares for her because we love her nonetheless because it's our baby. I mean, the baby is safe, mommy is safe. What else do we
That's
do we
all
ask
we're
for?
thankful for.
But we know that society really that there are people in my community that actually when they will ask you, oh, wow, are you? Oh, then you mention it. Vaginal.
One casa na uwe.
You give birth to yourself.
I know, right?
The CS
Who gave birth for you?
It's but,
Oh my days.
but I want to really stress on the fact that we should there's help. We shouldn't, keep this pain to ourselves. And these topics are not discussed. Like Felicity said, we are not sat down. Our moms don't sit us down and educate
the
us
things that
on
they don't tell
what
us.
you're going to go through when you have a baby. No, they don't. But
Our friends don't tell us.
no, either.
They just
Books
do
don't
not
tell us.
You know
either.
what we do? You see, we are all to blame. Because we go and have babies and experience all the things that we experience, and the only thing we share are photo shoots.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
Photo shoot holding baby bum.
Yes.
Photo shoot holding baby, and it's all beautiful, and we thank God for the beautiful part. But then there is this
The
part
dark side.
that we need to talk about. I think it's not kind.
That's
on
true.
our part
That's true.
that we allow our friends and our sisters to know about these things only when they are experiencing it. I mean, this I keep telling I tell my friends, look, getting pregnant is difficult.
Yeah.
They're getting pregnant, is difficult. Staying pregnant is difficult.
Yep.
Sustaining and carrying the pregnancy is difficult. Giving birth to the child is difficult. Keeping the infant alive,
It's another thing altogether.
breastfeeding the child,
Oh gosh.
getting the breast milk to even come so you can give it to the child, pumping breast milk,
Cracked nipples.
cracked nipples.
That's true. I always say that.
I mean, there's so much we don't talk. Why don't we
That's
talk
true.
about it?
That's true.
Let's activate the phone lines now.
That's true.
0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. Would like to hear from you now. Call us and share your experience and ask your questions. Felicity.
I think a lot of the time when it comes to why we shun CSs is because we believe that as women are supposed to suffer. We have to be women. There's something noble about a woman suffering, especially an African woman. She's strong. She goes through a lot of things. So even when she's suffering, yes, that's her strength. That's the beauty of womanhood. So within that, that's why we. So even when the woman's suffering herself, she was like, no, I have to be strong. I have to. This is what shows me or ba. This is what shows I'm woman enough, and that's why people come out because they're testing your womanhood. Are you strong enough? The beauty of your pain, it doesn't exist. They want to assess and see are you. It's a societal problem, and we really need to have conversation. When I was having my child, just during the labor, I thought he was coming out my bum. I felt so much pressure on my buttocks, and I was screaming, Isaiah, don't come out my bum. And because nobody had ever told me you would feel this pressure. And in my head, I forgot that children do not come out of buttocks. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's coming out of, and the pressure I felt then, it's just a conversation I've never had with anybody. And I was so shocked to find this out, of course, whilst I was having a child. And I really do hope that we have more conversations like this, not just on air, but even within our own communities. Let's really talk more, ladies.
That's true.
Absolutely.
My first
All right,
education.
I'm sorry, Nyakwa. We have a call on the line. We'll come back to you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You're live. Ni?
Yeah, this is me from Ngwa.
All right, Nee, you're live.
I want to commend you for the program you are put up on air.
Thank you.
My wife had a C-section for all the 3 kids that we have. And I tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. When anybody who comes to ask you, oh, so how is the baby? Fine, was this C-section? Sometimes you have to tell them that, oh, she gave birth through the natural way. Because society has not come to accept that if there are complications during the pregnancy, the only option the doctors have is maybe C-section. So it's high time that society accepts that there are other options for giving birth, not only through the natural way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nee. We appreciate you for calling. Michael is on the line. Hello, Michael.
Hello, now.
Yes, you're live.
Yes. My wife had 3 kids. It was all through C-section. The first child was breached. The doctors tried to get a baby to turn, the head to come down. It didn't work out. So they decided that it has to be by C-section. It was nice because we had to choose a date and a time. So we thought, yeah, it was nice. So the second one, she opted for C-section again. And the third one, the C-section again. So I think if she had to go again, I would say yes, C-section.
All right, Michael. Thank you for sharing. More messages coming in. Vanessa Jan. Hi, Vanessa Jan. Thank you for listening. She says, now I ripped a bit. My stitches were supposed to melt within a couple of days, but it didn't melt. So I had to go back to the hospital to have my stitches removed. Wow. Ira is on the line. Hello, Ira.
Hello.
Yes, Ira. You're welcome to the show. You're live.
Thank you very much. I think this program is very, very educative, and then a lot of awareness has to be put into this. I had all my 2 children through cesarean section.
All right, Ira, sorry about that. Please do call back. More messages coming in. I have 3 children. I had EPIs in all 3. I had to go for a wrist stitch after the first one because I was deceived into sitting in hot water. I still feel the pain down there sometimes when I'm peeing, though it's been over 15 years now. I don't like CS either, and I don't wish to have vaginal delivery too. Should I go again? As for the pain during the stitching, the less said, the better. All right, Ajiman is on the line. Hello, Ajiman.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Good evening. Thank you for calling us. You're live.
Yeah. I think no one go to the doctor or the midwife to tell her that I want CS.
Actually, a lot of people do. Yeah.
Now people do.
Yeah.
I think they should wait for them to see their condition before they prescribe it to them.
Why?
I know of somebody who was, they do a hole in heart surgery for her. Because of that, they should be CS. My junior brother's wife, if not because of CS, she would have, lost her life. But if you take some young ladies from 18 to 25, 26, when you say push, within some few minutes, it is down. So I don't see the reason why those people will opt for CS. But after 30-something years, the bones are hard, or you have some complications, the CS is important. So to me, I think it depends.
Okay, thank you so much. I've got Helman now on the line. Hello, Helman.
Hi, hi. How are you?
Yes, Helman, you're my last caller. I'm great. You're live.
Good. So I have my wife had natural birth, 3 kids. The first was quite hectic because almost at the end of it, when the baby's head popped up, my wife said she was tired and couldn't push anymore. So they had to virtually vacuum the baby out. And well, for me, I was in the delivery room all 3 times. And saw what she had to go through with all 3 kids. What I would like to say is that, like the other lady said, this is a choice one has to do because at the end of the day, she had to push to stand to get these kids out. It's a decision that the woman has to take, and the man has to support all the way through without.
Thank you, Helman. You are a wise man. And we appreciate you for calling. And I'm glad you were our last caller. I thank you all the men who called us. We really appreciate it when the men call.
Yes.
But we want to hear from the girls too. So girls, please call us. We have 6 minutes to go. I'll read a couple of messages. I'll come to you, Marion, and then we'll wrap up. First of all, thanks to your panelists for the honest conversation around the taboo topic. I was in labor for 16 hours with my first, and after being induced, my second was easier, but in both situations I ended up with second-degree tears and hemorrhoids. In Ghana, labor and delivery are steeped in culture and social norms about who is a true mother, in quote. We need to keep educating ourselves on the advantages and disadvantages of what we choose, because in both situations it's a matter of life and death. I personally feel that inadequacies in the healthcare delivery is at the heart of why most women are opting for elective C-sections now. We need better birthing assistance, pain management, postpartum management, and counseling. And that's from Aurelia.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Aurelia,
I agree, absolutely,
for sending that in. All right, Marian.
I think after the stitches, after the second stitches, the second birth, I was so conscious of the fact that I had gotten large, because Ira's head was quite big, so I was so conscious that I was getting large. And when I sat in the hot water, it is I think that one is more painful than the delivering itself, because it is hot steaming water. And you have to sit on your mother is telling you, sit on that, I want to make a show. So you sitting with the camphor, or how they call it, naphthalene balls. You're sitting inside and it's melting. It's in between your thighs. It's the most traumatic thing that I think
it's important that people take post-op education seriously, because some of the stitches are plastic. So if you sit in hot water, then you are going to melt
the stitches. Oh my days.
But when I had a baby in the UK, sitting on hot water is not even a thing that the nurses or the doctors advise you to do. They actually advise you not to sit on hot water. So this is actually something that's actually steep in our culture. And so I don't know what the scientific backing is, but then it's been rejected in the UK. No one else.
I need to take a final comment now. You have about 30 seconds each. Felicity?
Women should they should make their own choices about their bodies. If men are concerned about how tight your vaginas are, maybe they need to focus on making their penises bigger. So honestly, we should need to have more conversations about birth, about labor, more honest conversations.
Okay, you don't want to know what's going on in the studio right now. Shout out to those watching us on Facebook,
there we go. I'm safe. I'm safe. I've recovered from your shock. Okay. I would also say that we should share more. Like Na said, we should be more selfless. Share more with other mothers. Yeah. It's comforting to know that you're not the only one going through this, and you're not the only one, who has gone through this, and you can heal together. You comfort one another. And I also want to say that there's help. There's help. Just look more. You don't stay with incontinence. Don't stay with a bruised vagina for the rest of your life. There's help. And also try to look up the internet. Don't just go through your pregnancy and birthing and postpartum, naive. You can't blame anybody for that. Please look up. There's so much information out there. Just read. And
I just need to add, Mabna does classes for postpartum women. She does Kegel exercise that firms the muscles of your pelvic muscles, your pelvic floor, right? So you can fix the P problem, and all the other muscle tightening and loosening issues, okay, with exercise. So follow Fitvolution, but with Mabna, on Instagram, for more details. Okay.
So that's what I'd say. The whole misconception about CS and all the thing, girl, please, let's just get ourselves away from it. And then if you're not comfortable with the vagina, please don't think about what people will say. Have your CS and please have your baby.
Okay. So for me, the intention is the most important. Is it medical? Is it social? If it's social, it's your body. But do not let any doctor convince you to do a CS, because some doctors are doing it because of financial gains. So please be mindful.
Thank you,
of that.
Foiwa. Thank you, ladies, so much. My name is Na Ashoko. This has been Strong and Sassy. It's been great having you as always. Up next, Kamala Adum has the news, and Sami Forson brings you the Overdrive.